The Browns defense put on an absolute clinic in the Week 1 opener. Cincinnati's high-octane passing attack was held to under 150 total yards and just 67 passing yards, numbers even Sunday's weather conditions couldn't take the credit for. All three levels of the defense were in sync, the pass rush was disruptive, the linebackers fit the run very well, and the secondary locked down one of the best receiving corps in the NFL. But equally as impressive, new defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz showed why he was chosen as the guy to maximize this defense's talent from the very first drive. On the first drive of the game, the Bengals faced a 3rd and 9 from their own 36-yard line. Schwartz calls cover 3 with his corners about 6 to 8 yards off the line of scrimmage to protect against the deep ball. This is a conservative play call because while it prevents you from getting beat vertically, it gives the offense free yards underneath. You give Jamar Chase a free release off the line of scrimmage, and he's going to make you pay with his route running and quickness. He gets predictably wide open and easily picks up the first down to move the chains. And after this play, Schwartz did something that a lot of Browns fans wish Joe Woods did last year, which was make an adjustment. The Bengals then went 1 for 14 on their remaining 3rd down attempts. Why? Well, let's dive into it. From this point forward, Schwartz called man coverage exactly 50% of the time, the highest rate by a Browns defense since Week 12 of 2018 against the Bengals. For reference, last year, Joe Woods called man coverage just 28.3%, sorry Falcons fans, percent of the time. When playing man-to-man, the defense held Burrow to 0.7 yards per attempt, 39.6 passer rating, and almost -1 EPA per play. The Browns' trio of cornerbacks were locked down in man coverage, draping all over the Bengals receivers all game long. They were physical, they were fast, and they were instinctive when the ball was in the air, and they forced a lot of incompletions, holding Joe Burrow to his worst passing game of his career. Burrow definitely didn't play well, and the weather was not suited for the Bengals' high-moving passing attack, but his receivers could not get open because of just how tight the man coverage was. Slick field or not, to have been this dominant against one of the league's best receiving corps and passing games in the entire NFL, it's truly impressive, and it's a great step forward into what was a terrible defense last year. Part of the reason why Schwartz was able to call so much man coverage is because he could count on the pass rush getting home quickly. The defensive front dominated Cincinnati's offensive line and showed some creative looks that were able to rattle Burrow. One of the ways they did that was by lining up Myles Garrett as a linebacker over the center. In his past 6 seasons, Garrett only rushed from the linebacker position 4 times, which he exceeded in just 1 game against the Bengals. He was extremely disruptive from this spot because, being the freak of nature he is, Garrett can not only match the strength of these big interior offensive linemen, but he also has a huge advantage in quickness and agility, which made him nearly unblockable from this spot. The new additions along the defensive line also saw immediate returns. Arguably, the biggest weakness of last year's defense was the porous run defense. And while there's room for improvement, the Browns held Joe Mixon to under 60 yards and 4.3 yards a carry on a rainy, slippery day that is supposed to benefit the run game. On this play, the Bengals are running inside zone and have a clear numbers advantage with 6 blockers to just 6 defenders in the box. The Bengals' right guard and right tackle have to double team Dalvin Tomlinson before the right guard works his way up to the second level to block JOK. But this doesn't go to plan. Tomlinson drives the right tackle into the backfield, and JOK smoothly dips under and around the right guard to make an explosive tackle for loss. Even when the Browns didn't have the numbers advantage in the run game, they were still able to contain Mixon because of pure talent. Jim Schwartz's aggressive, proactive, man-heavy defensive scheme is the best fit for the players on this Browns defense. It allows the raw athleticism of the secondary to shine, a stark contrast to Joe Woods' zone-heavy scheme that didn't allow guys to play fast. This revamped pass rush is going to get pressure quickly, which means Schwartz won't need the secondary to cover receivers for as long, allowing him to call more and more man coverage, which is what this secondary is best suited to do. The Browns defense was hyped as having the potential to be one of the best in the NFL coming into the season. And slick field or not, Sunday's blowout against the reigning AFC North champions and the newest highest paid player in the NFL was a great start.